Hello. Waiting for Mirna to connect. Request to join. There it is. Okay, come on. Instagram. Hey,
Hello, can you hear me and see me well?
I can
Let's
hear you. Yes, and falling over.
That's
You're in the
awesome.
sideways mode, I guess.
Yeah, I think
So how
I
you
am.
doing? You well?
I can make it straight. Let's see if that's gonna be better.
There we go.
Let's see. Yeah, maybe
So,
that's better.
yep, that's brilliant.
Awesome.
That's brilliant. Good to see you. Okay, aloha, friends. Welcome to the first PaulE Player We Go to 11 episode of 2022. My special guest, the January PaulE Player of the Month, the amazing Mirna A, aka Drumbitious Mirna. Hello, Mirna. Thanks for joining and thanks for being a part of the PaulE family.
Thanks for having me.
It's great to see you, and you're behind your kit where you should be.
Right? Yeah, my perfect place.
The space of love.
Yeah,
There you go.
exactly.
All right, so for those of you who have not seen a Paulie Player We Go to 11 story before, it's a casual conversation with my guest, and I ask her 11 questions, all mostly prepared by me, one prepared by someone who has sent in the question, and another from Myrna. So, Myrna, you ready to get started?
Let's go.
Okay. Well, the first question, as always, is where are you originally from? Where were you born? How was your childhood? And a little bit about your family.
So originally, I'm from the Middle East. I am from Iraq specifically. Originally from the city of Nineveh, if anyone have heard the name of the city historically. It still does exist. It's funny when people ask about it. Yeah, so I'm originally from there. I lived a huge part of my life in Baghdad too for work and to study. That's where I am originally from. What was the rest of the question? Like, was that it?
Oh, well, no, like your childhood and things you did as a kid. Obviously, you'd have a very interesting childhood and different from someone like me that grew up in New Jersey.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, so it's a privilege, it's an advantage and a disadvantage to be in that part of the world. Sometimes, I grew up in a war zone, basically. So the things that people have access to here are not things that I always had access to. But I grew up in a family that's very artistic and musical to an extent, maybe not professionally, but we always were surrounded by music. I've been trained since my very early childhood. My first instrument was playing the organ. So that was kind of my exposure to music when my dad got me one, and I started kind of trying to learn. I had teachers to train me on like rhythm and how to follow rhythm when you do vocals. My first performance was at maybe like 7 or 6 years old in front of hundreds of people as a vocalist. So I didn't perform as a drummer as my first performance. It was a start as a vocalist, basically. But yeah, I understood rhythm and all of that in a Middle Eastern way. So it was all different. It's not like we don't count, we don't do numbers and time signatures and all of that. We say kind of like words or sounds that refer to certain rhythms or beats. So yeah, that was the difference basically growing there versus growing here on the musical side.
Oh, that's very interesting. Yeah, it's quite different the whole how you're brought up learning music. Of course, my parents were also musically inclined, but it wasn't, obviously a different way than to learn. My way to learn was go to school and take a lesson. um, so, for your inspirations in music and influences, obviously, if your parents were into music, they were an inspiration and influence. But any other big ones you can think of?
I don't think I have like a specific name. from the Middle East, or maybe I don't remember. I had so many people that inspired me like vocally from the Middle East, which are probably names that people don't know here. And then drums, kind of like the Western drumming, I have a lot of inspirations for that. But for childhood inspiration, I think I was always inspired by like good performers standing on a stage and like doing their job well, but not a specific one that I can remember from my childhood.
Okay. Well, my next question was going to be your first gig, but since we know your first gig was vocal, we'll go with your first drumming gig. When was your first gig where you were drumming? You said you played hand percussion, but how about
The
behind the
drum
kit?
set. Uh, I think my first drum set gig might have been a church gig. Like a church needed a drummer, and I went and played. And it was they had like a combination of like, classical church music and some kind of a jazzy things. Like Take Five, they had to play that, and I had to kind of play along without practice. Not something I usually play, but yeah, that was my first gig, I think, with like about a band of like 20 something people with different instruments and vocals.
Oh wow, that's great. I was one of my favorite parts of going to church as a kid was getting to sing.
Yes.
So it wasn't so exciting except when they started singing. So I was lucky to be at a church that was quite vocal. We had a girl that did acoustic guitar at the time, and she tried to sing everything, and it made it very enjoyable.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I think my start was like practicing and learning music was at a church. So that's kind of how I grew up with music and practiced vocals and rhythm and all these things.
Brilliant. And you're born in Iraq. What
Yes.
brought you to the U.S. and why in particular Denver?
So I came to the US in 2011 in a leadership program first. It was a month and a half. They chose people from Iraq to build bridges between the two cultures, and they chose people with leadership skills that can actually speak English and express themselves so that they can amplify their skills and bring them back to their country to exchange that knowledge and build peace between countries. So that was my first exposure. And then second time I came here was in 2015. That was another reason. It was a scholarship paid by the U.S. Department of State for people that had some specific research ideas and leadership skills. It's called the Fulbright Scholarship. So that's how I came here to do my second master's degree in molecular biology. That was the reason why I came here.
Molecular biology. That's heavy if you don't say it all the time.
I know.
And do you like Denver? I was in Albuquerque for a long time and have a lot of friends in Denver and in the Boulder area in particular. And you enjoy Denver in the cold.
Yes, my school was in Fort Collins, and then I kept moving around Boulder,
Hmm.
Denver, depending on the job and living, and Loveland and all that. So mainly I've been in northern Colorado for the last 7 years. I think it's 7 years now. Yeah, so it's all beautiful here.
Yeah. Yeah, Rocky Mountains is a very beautiful area of America. Like I said,
Yes.
Albuquerque, it's just at the very tip of it. But driving up to Taos and up to Denver, I must have made that drive 40 or 50 times.
That's awesome.
um, yeah, it never gets old. The mountains are absolutely glorious there.
Yes.
So recently, I've become associated with the Hit Like a Girl contest, thanks to you introducing me to Dave. And in 2022, I'm happy to say that I'm going to be a sponsor giving Bonnie's, something like what you have on your kit there,
Yes.
to winners, and also to sponsor people who might not be able to afford lessons. Um, and that's with Kira, a lady
Oh,
here
nice.
in London. So, what can you tell me about the contest and how you became associated with it, and what you plan to do this year for it?
So the first time I actually heard about the contest was, I don't know, from somewhere online, or maybe Mindy Obovitz had shared it with me or something like that. And then I decided that I wanted to share my video, and I don't want to say compete because I wasn't there to compete. And so I shared a video to showcase women in metal drumming and women that can play fast or whatever. Of course, it's not a perfect video because the resources were limited at the time, in terms of space and recording and all of that. But I just jumped in on a kit and got a recording in a recording studio here, in Lafayette. So I think that was the video I shared, and I think I had like ankle weights on. So people like that, people want to see. I wanted to show people that women can play heavier stuff and harder stuff, because some people always told me, well, you can play certain things, or girls can play certain things, but can they play heavier? So that's all I wanted to do. Then when it kind of got to the level of like votes and voting, I found myself not able to share and tell people vote for me because I've lived and spent my life supporting women, and I didn't want to compete with women. So like my future goals is maybe to compete with like whatever event that had all genders in it, for metal, but not right now because of COVID. Obviously, we can't travel anywhere. So that's my goal. But then with Hit Like a Girl, I stopped wanting to compete, and I decided that I wanted to volunteer whenever they need someone. So they posted that they wanted a marketing specialist, which I am a marketing specialist. So I shared my resume with them. Then they said, we actually have a lot of marketing specialist volunteers, and you do have way more skills than just to do marketing, and we think you can do corporate relations manager for the contest. So that's kind of how it started.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Sometimes the competition isn't for everybody, but in America, they like to compete at everything.
Yes, yeah, I am very
Um,
competitive, to be quite honest, and I know it can be a negative thing sometimes, or maybe this generation, there's a lot of, videos on the internet about you shouldn't compete only with yourself, but really, I think to some level, there's some level of competition inside every one of us, at least. And my competition should not be with women. That's kind of it, you know?
yeah, but as you said, it's everyone's competition is with themselves, and that's what it is. And if other people appreciate it, then that's where the competition comes into play, so to speak. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I'm looking forward to it. It's been about 3 or 4 years that I've been watching, and it's impressive how it's grown every year, and how some people have really gone full throttle, with their videos and different angles and different outfits, and it's become quite a production. So I'm excited for it.
That's true, and I'm glad you're excited for that. I'm glad you're involved in it this year.
It's a pleasure. Well, I see you behind your kit, and you put out some fabulous performance videos there. What tools do you have? Like your kit? I'm sure you have an electronic kit as well as an acoustic kit, and endorsements that you have, or you'd like to
Yeah, I will
share?
show you. Yeah, I can show you kind of a clip, or maybe just move my phone around to see, so
Sure.
you can see everything more clearly. And maybe you're not going to see my face for a second, but that's fine. So here is my right cymbal, and I have two hi-hats. That's kind of it's not my thing. I know where the idea came from. Uh, but I like it. I stole it from someone that inspires me. And this is my snare drum. I have one rack tom and two floor toms, one on the right and one on the left. Then there is my drum sets with a Yamaha direct drive pedal, because I practice with the Yamaha more there, so I want to be quiet because I practice early morning sometimes or late night. And then I have a chain drive PaulE pedal here. It's the power shifter PaulE pedal. So that's kind of mainly my kit. Most of my cymbals are Meinl right now. I used to endorse a company that I don't endorse anymore, for customer related reasons. When a company doesn't, like, some companies don't treat their customers as they should. So now I play Meinl.
Well, we all have our likes and dislikes from companies that we've dealt with. I've had bad things with Meinl, but you know, it seems like everybody has something that you know that doesn't go right, or they treat you differently than you know how you want to be treated. Um, but any other sponsors, sticks and
Yeah,
stuff?
sticks. Excel drumsticks. They're actually not a very big company, but they make really good products. I was impressed by it, and I played it, and then I endorsed it, and now I have my signature series drumsticks, which are kind of taller, bigger than everything I've seen in the market. Kind of thicker at the bottom
Nice.
compared to a 5A. So that's my signature drumstick from Excel. And then I endorse Sweet Spot's drum dampeners, which I don't have today because I have rubber pads on my snare. So yeah, that's kind of that's what I endorse now, and I like playing your little edition that you gave me from PaulE. So these are the things that I use nowadays in all my tonum, all my minor cymbals and Mapex drum sets. So
Hey. All right, then let's get on with it because I saw that you were out playing live yesterday. So I know you love
yes.
to play live and you have some good performances. If you could think of one gig, your favorite gig that stands out above all the rest, what would it be?
I don't think I have. Oh, actually, I do. I do. So I played my first rock event. My first rock event was with my friend. She was also a molecular biologist, but smarter than me because she has a PhD or a couple of PhDs in science. But she also does have like this very unique skill, which is she's able to hang herself by her hair and do like things in the air, like circus, things that are fun to watch. So it was pretty exciting when she asked me to play a drum solo for her with like three different beats. One of them I think was Latin, the other was Western and maybe Middle Eastern one. And that was my first rock gig to just play a drum solo while she hangs herself in a ceiling and do things in the air.
Wow, that's
Yep.
amazing. Yeah, I don't think I'd be hanging anything
Nah.
from my hair.
Yeah.
That's for sure. But no, that's
Ex-
really interesting.
yes. Yeah. It's a unique skill. I think there's only three people that do that in the United States.
Whoa, that is unique.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, kudos to her. That's great
Yes.
news. Um, So yeah, of course, I'm stoked to have you as a PaulE player.
Thank you.
And you had your Bonnie Mini there. What can you tell me about that? What do you like, I should say?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of little additions to drum sets nowadays, and all the companies are doing a great job. This one is unique by the fact that I don't like a lot of like loud jingly sound, and this one is kind of subtle, so I like that about it. I like the wood finish and how it looks too, and the half circle. I don't like uniformity in anything in my life, so anything that looks weird or different I like, even people that are unique or eccentric, I like that. So that was like one of the things I'm like, yeah, I don't like circles, I like things that are more like this shape. And so that was one of the things in addition to the sound. Of course, I showed a video of how like people can play it with their foot or actually tapping on it and flipping it upside down and all the different unique things you can do with it. So it's a really cool addition. I know in metal drumming people don't play that a lot, but I also have influences that are not metal drummers. And they do have some pieces like that. Marco Miniman actually did have a little tambourine on his hi-hat, and that's how I got inspired to add this piece to mine. And so I love it. Thanks for sending me this. It's a great addition.
It's my pleasure. And I do have the round ones for those people that are
Circle.
round, and then I
Yes.
also have bigger ones. These are the Moonies.
Nice.
Yours is the mini, so it's the smallest one.
I love it.
And the Bonnie, it's called the Bonnie after John Bonham, which,
Oh,
I mean, you
okay.
don't get any heavier than John Bonham.
No.
And he was the first person that I saw when I was a youngster, playing the Ching Ring, the old metal ones. And that was sort of my inspiration because I know that there's a lot of, as you said, a lot of different accessories now to make things go ching, and some of them go ching quite a bit, and they don't really look as aesthetically pleasing on a lovely kit. You
That's
know
true.
that they're just little metal or plasticky things. And I know there's a lot of sizzlers out there now that people put on, on your cymbal that just dangles on, and when you hit it,
Makes
it
sound. Yeah.
yeah. But now I'm glad that you're enjoying that, and it's a pleasure to have you in the PaulE family.
Thank you.
So let me see. So the question that you had for me, or for me, that you had for me to ask you was about what got you to where you wanted to be. What made you achieve your goals and help push you towards your goals?
Yeah, so because people always ask this question, I thought it was important to share when you said, what question do you want me to ask? So people always ask what makes a person, progress faster than others. And because we're all humans, like, intelligence and skill and all of these are subjective, and it also depends on what your background was. So basically, things that kind of helped me were growing up where I grew up in a specific type of family or environment where music was accessible to me. And then the second thing would be hereditary. It's, some people are more inclined to feel rhythm than others. And even within my family, some of us are more rhythmic than others, even like in dancing, or, just playing drums or anything like that. Um, of course, practice is a third one. Practicing a lot, and not practicing a lot, maybe practicing focused and being at this age, I kind of started taking drums seriously and the drum set more seriously when I'm an adult, and that helped because I knew and learned how to learn from my studying and work and all the things that I've done in my life. So I knew how to kind of have organized, focused practice routine, and I had my goals all together. I didn't practice the things that I didn't want to play, so that helps. And the other main thing is me asking people that are more advanced than me and have more skill and have more experience and vision, things that I wanted to achieve. I saw the people that have achieved them and I asked them questions and they were generous enough to support me. So I always say I can see further because I stand on the shoulders of giants, and these giants are my mentors and teachers. So people help me tremendously. Like Marco Miniman has given me a tremendous amount of knowledge about odd time signatures and things like that that I have never known before. And I'm like forever grateful for free and for nothing, that he benefited from. Billy Amendola from Modern Drummer magazine has given me mentorship since I've known him. He's just very supportive. Derek Roddy, of course, he's inspiring just watching him, but also the knowledge that he's given me by like telling me how things work in the music industry. All the mentorship from him. Don Famolaro is also a great teacher, showing you like the basics and how to have like a solid kind of basic background to start with and what to do and what to practice, and also just him being an inspiring person. My current teacher is Eugene Ryabchenko from Flesh God Apocalypse. He's just the best teacher and trainer that actually like looks at things in details and tell you what you need to improve in like specifically like extreme metal drumming. Um, and then Matt Byrne from Hatebreed also has given me a tremendous amount of knowledge and support. So all of them are the reason why I know a lot about things that I didn't know before.
It's great. Yeah, people. It's the same with me, and I've been helped by so many people along the way with making drums and inspiration from people that I ask them what they would like, and that always inspires me to push in a different direction. Like with
Yes.
the Half Moon, somebody said they wanted to have a wood block as well as a chin ring. So I was
Yes.
like, well, I can give that a go, and I did, and I guess it's not that wood block sound, but it is a woody sound
It is.
when you hit it. So I always pushed on by others and inspired by others, and uh, grateful for everyone that's helped me as well, just like you. So our final question, which before I ask, I know you have a shout out to somebody that you wanted to give a birthday.
Yeah, yes, one of my super fans told me his birthday is January 14th, and can you give me a shout out in the interview? So I said, of course. His name is Sheikh. And his birthday was, I think, yesterday, January 14th. So shout out to Sheikh, and thank you for all your support and sharing me and showing my videos to the world.
Brilliant, brilliant. So now our last question came from a friend of mine, Brian, and he has asked if you had any gig, if you could sit in any gig, whatever, past, present, with any band, who would it be?
Ooh, I think something that I would enjoy playing without like being too scared, or I can manage to play and enjoy it, is a dream thing. Of course, it's not gonna happen, but it's Hatebreed. I love their songs. I love playing them. So I think that's one. Other than that, my favorite band is Mixtine and Miniman. But most of the songs I play them and cover them. I don't play it the same way the drummer plays it because I'm not that advanced. But I enjoy it and I play it. And so yeah, these are my two favorites. I would say Hatebreed and Mixtine and Miniman.
Ah, great. Well, you never say never, right? You never know.
Yes, yes,
Well, unless you're going to say Led Zeppelin or something like that, because then you know that's probably too late. they're
yes.
they're doing this now. Um, but yeah, Mona, thank you so much for joining me on We Go to 11 and for being a part of the PaulE family. And is there anything else you'd like to say? And you can lead us out with a little drumming.
I can. I would say. I don't know if a little drumming would be. Maybe I can keep it quiet a little bit. But it can be loud and over blast the sound there. But I don't know if you can hear it. I don't know. Maybe you can. That's a little bit of an odd time signature for you right there.
Yeah, well, I could hear the Bonnie Mini going, so that makes me happy.
Yeah. Yes. It's awesome.
Well, you have yourself a lovely Saturday. Again, thank you so much for joining on the first episode of We Go to 11 in 2022, being the January PaulE Player of the Month. And every month this year, I will do a new PaulE Player of the Month and do another We Go to 11. So again, thank you for kicking us off fabulously.
Thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure.
Okay, Myrna, have a good day. Thanks so
Thanks.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.